Yo, what's going on YouTube? Today we're going to be going over the best settings in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I use the DualSense edge. It has the pedals on the back, all for controller settings. These are my stats right here that you guys can see. So this is coming from a player that's usually above average on most aspects of Call of Duty. Trying to steer you guys in the best direction, possibilities to get you better stats, better gameplay, everything like that you guys want to achieve in the game. As you can see right here, we're on the display settings, so that's what we're going to start with. For the display mode, full screen exclusive, that's a big thing that I like to do. Display monitor, obviously you got to make sure it's on the correct monitor that you're playing on. Your adapter, that's going to be for your GPU. The screen refresh rate is going to be obviously based on what your monitor is. Mine's at 240 hertz, so that's what we're going to put. Once again, with the display resolution, that depends on your monitor as well. Mine's a 19x20 by 1080, so I'm going to go ahead and put that on there. The aspect ratio option, I leave this on automatic. Then brightness, this is a big thing in all Sledgehammer games. I always have mine at lower brightness because I feel like if it's too light, all you see is like pure white. Next up, we got the NVIDIA reflex low latency. I have a lot of opinions that on plus boost helps a lot. I never really had luck with it, so I just leave mine on. Eco mode preset, we have efficiency, VC gameplay off, VC menu to 100%, menu render resolution I have on optimal, pause game rendering I have off, focus mode is at 90. This option that we're going to be going over right here, I had this on one time and it messed with me a lot, whether it's recordings, anything like that. That's the high dynamic range, HDR. Make sure this is on off. Next section we're going to be going over is the quality on the graphic settings. Graphic preset we have at custom. You're going to want this on custom because you're going to be changing a lot of these options down below. Render resolution I have 19x20 1080. Leave that at 100. Dynamic resolution I have off. Upscaling and sharpening. Make sure this is on fidelity cast. I'm pretty sure if you're just starting the game, it's on like NVIDIA DLSS. I'm pretty sure. So make sure you change this to fidelity cast, and this helps with your boost as well. Path tracing and reconstruction, make sure that is on off. After that, we get the VRAM scale target. We have it at 80, variable rate shading off, NVIDIA DLSS frame generation off. And this is where we're going to get down to the actual graphics right here in the details. Texture resolution, I just have a normal. Textural filter, anisotropic, I have a normal. Depth of field, make sure this is on off. Detail quality level low. Particle resolution low. Bullet impacts off. Persistent effects on off. Shadow quality low. On-demand texture streaming I have on, and then the settings down below I have mine just at 32 and demo limits on off. At that, we got the local texture streaming quality I have on normal. Shadow and lighting is the next tab we'll be going over, which is shadow quality very low. Screen space shadows on off. Ambient occlusion off. Screen space reflections off. Static reflection quality on low. And then it's on the environment tab. We have tessellation off. Volume quality low. Deferred physics quality off. Weather grid volumes low, water quality on off. Next up is view. This is a lot personal preference, but this is what I use and this is what I found is the best. Field of view, I have it all the way up to 120. ADS field of view affected, weapon field of view wide, third person field of view, and weapon field of view doesn't really matter much unless you play Warzone or if you're playing on zombies with them weapons. These two next that we're going to be going through is world motion blur and weapon motion blur. Those two are a big difference. Make sure those are on off because those affect a lot of your like visual look on the game. We have fill grain on 0.25. And these next four settings right here, these are just all on default for me because I don't really use much of those at all. Inverted flashbang I have on off. This just makes it go from white to black. So if you're playing late at night and you get flash, it's going to be really bright to your eyes. So you might want to put it on. It's up to you guys. So that is it for the display quality and view. Now we're going to jump into the actual controller settings. Like I said, I use a DualSense Edge 5, so I have pedals on the back of my controller. And these are the best settings that I found out for these. So if you're playing on controller, any sort of wrong setting or anything like that could mess with your accuracy in game. First things first, bumper ping on off. Stick layout preset, obviously I just have on default. This is personal preference, how you guys have your button layout. Another big thing that you got to make sure is to have controller vibration off. Like I said, if you have controller vibration on and you're shooting and it's just moving in your hand and all that, you might mess up your accuracy altogether. Trigger effect, I have a full haptics. Dead zone inputs, we're going to jump into this right here. This is obviously opinionated as well. So jumping into the dead zone inputs, we got the left stick minimum at 15, 99, right stick is 15 and 99, and left trigger and right trigger are 13. These are pretty close to the default because I have not had stick drift or anything like that. So if we go into the test right here and you guys watch me move this with my right analog stick, barely move it, see how far over that goes, and if you hold it, obviously it's going to go way over there. So if you're aiming and everything like that, you're in a gunfight, you just want to do slight movements. You don't want to be able to crank it all the way over. Them slight movements are what's going to give you an upper edge and keep your accuracy and recoil control under control. But like I said, that's what I use for dead zone. Some people have different opinions, but this is what I have in general. Then we're going to jump into aiming. This is personal preference as well. You guys might think mine's pretty weird. I have a 4.4 sensitivity and a 0.45 ADS multiplier. I used to be a very high sense player, but now I play on a lot lower sense, and a lot of people are like, how do I play on that? It helps me with accuracy, it helps me with my movement, everything like that. You still get these quick snaps just because it's on a lower sensitivity. With all these other settings put in here, your main accuracy is still buffed tremendously, man. So after that, we have the sensitivity multiplier. Most of these are all going to be default. Vertical aim axis, this is all default. This is default. And then the aim response curve type, I have it on standard. So standard, it says it's for ideal for new players. I've been playing Call of Duty since World at War, and I honestly don't think there's much of a difference. Standard, linear, and dynamic. Some people might have a different opinion. I just leave mine on standard because that's obviously what works best for me with my accuracy. Then we have more default settings that I never really changed at all. Target aim assist is on, obviously on. And then aim assist type, this is another big one. I used to play on Black Ops, and I recently changed just to put on default. There's not really much of a difference in my opinion. I think more or less when you change it, you're just gonna feel like it's a lot slower when you pass a enemy. But with my settings and my sensitivity speed right now, I just am on default, so it lets me move a little bit more freely. And after that, these are also default settings as well. On the gameplay settings tab, most of mine are going to be default if you look through it. There's not really much I changed on here. A lot of this is for like Warzone, zombies, anything like that you play. The only other thing I really did change on here is the automatic sprint. I leave this on off, as I feel if it's on tactical sprint or anything like that, if you're getting in the close gunfights, if you're just running and someone's right around the corner, you just don't have the upper edge on them if you have that on, because then you have to repull your gun and everything like that. So I make sure that mine is on off, and then you get the upper edge on them gunfights. So these are my settings in my opinion on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Obviously everyone has their own opinions, but I prefer these ones. I think they work the best, especially for the controller. And this is coming from a player that has higher stats and on the upper edge of Call of Duty. So I have almost a 4 KD, and win loss is really good, my score per minute really good. And then as you guys can see right here, my highest kill game is 288, highest gun streak is 73. So this is coming from a player that kind of can hold his own in most of the different aspects of the game. If you guys enjoyed today's video, or if it helped you out at all, make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, turn on the post notifications so you guys never miss an upload, and I'll catch you guys on the next video stream. It's been Jump Chat. See you.